Genesis 3. Chapter 3, verse 1. However, the serpent was more crafty than any of the creatures of the earth that the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, "Why has God instructed you that you should not eat from every tree of paradise?" Chapter 3, verse 2. The woman responded to him, "From the fruit of the trees which are in paradise we eat." Chapter 3, verse 3. Yet truly from the fruit of the tree, which is in the middle of paradise, God has instructed us that we should not eat, and that we should not touch it, lest perhaps we may die. Chapter 3, verse 4. Then the serpent said to the woman, "By no means will you die a death." Chapter 3, verse 5. For God knows that on whatever day you will eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good and evil. Chapter 3, verse 6. And so the woman saw that the tree was good to eat, and beautiful to the eyes, and delightful to consider. And she took from its fruit, and she ate. And she gave to her husband, who ate. Chapter 3, verse 7. And the eyes of them both were opened. And when they realized themselves to be naked, they joined together fig leaves and made coverings for themselves. Chapter 3, verse 8. And when they had heard the voice of the Lord God taking a walk in paradise in the afternoon breeze, Adam and his wife hid themselves from the face of the Lord God in the midst of the trees of paradise. Chapter 3, verse 9. And the Lord God called Adam and said to him, "Where are you?" Chapter 3, verse 10. And he said, "I heard your voice in paradise, and I was afraid because I was naked, and so I hid myself." Chapter 3, verse 11. He said to him, "Then who told you that you were naked? If you have not eaten of the tree from which I instructed you that you should not eat?" Chapter 3, verse 12. And Adam said, "The woman whom you gave to me as a companion gave to me from the tree, and I ate." Chapter 3, verse 13. And the Lord God said to the woman, "Why have you done this?" And she responded, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Chapter 3, verse 14. And the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed among all living things, even the wild beasts of the earth. Upon your breast shall you travel, and the ground shall you eat all the days of your life." Chapter 3, verse 15. I will put enmities between you and the woman, between your offspring and her offspring. She will crush your head, and you will lie in wait for her heel. Chapter 3, verse 16. To the woman he also said, "I will multiply your labors and your conceptions. In pain shall you give birth to sons, and you shall be under your husband's power, and he shall have dominion over you." Chapter 3, verse 17. Yet truly, to Adam, he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree from which I instructed you that you should not eat, cursed is the land that you work. In hardship shall you eat from it all the days of your life." Chapter 3, verse 18. Thorns and thistles shall it produce for you, and you shall eat the plants of the earth. Chapter 3, verse 19. By the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, until you return to the earth from which you were taken. For dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. Chapter 3, verse 20. And Adam called the name of his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. Chapter 3, verse 21. The Lord God also made for Adam and his wife garments from skins, and he clothed them. Chapter 3, verse 22. And he said, "Behold, Adam has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Therefore now perhaps he may put forth his hand, and also take from the tree of life, and eat, and live in eternity." Chapter 3, verse 23. And so the Lord God sent him away from the paradise of enjoyment, in order to work the earth from which he was taken. Chapter 3, verse 24. And he cast out Adam, And in front of the paradise of enjoyment, he placed the cherubim with a flaming sword, turning together to guard the way to the tree of life. Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 1. Truly Adam knew his wife Eve, who conceived and gave birth to Cain, saying, I have obtained a man through God. Chapter 4, verse 2. And again she gave birth to his brother Abel. But Abel was a pastor of sheep, and Cain was a farmer. Chapter 4, verse 3. Then it happened after many days that Cain offered gifts to the Lord from the fruits of the earth. Chapter 4, verse 4. Abel likewise offered from the firstborn of his flock, and from their fat. And the Lord looked with favor on Abel and his gifts. Chapter 4, verse 5. Yet in truth he did not look with favor on Cain and his gifts. And Cain was vehemently angry, and his countenance fell. Chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said to him, Why are you angry? And why is your face fallen? Chapter 4, verse 7. If you behave well, will you not receive? But if you behave badly, will not sin at once be present at the door? And so its desire will be within you, and you will be dominated by it. Chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain said to his brother Abel, Let us go outside. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel, and he put him to death. Chapter 4, verse 9. And the Lord said to Cain, Where is your brother Abel? And he responded, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? Chapter 4, verse 10. And he said to him, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the land. Chapter 4, verse 11. Now therefore you will be cursed upon the land, which opened its mouth and received the blood of your brother at your hand. Chapter 4, verse 12. When you work it, it will not give you its fruit. A vagrant and a fugitive shall you be upon the land. Chapter 4, verse 13. And Cain said to the Lord, My iniquity is too great to deserve kindness. Chapter 4, verse 14. Behold, you have cast me out this day before the face of the earth, and from your face I will be hidden, and I will be a vagrant and a fugitive on the earth. Therefore anyone who finds me will kill me. Chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said to him, By no means will it be so, rather, whoever would kill Cain will be punished sevenfold. And the Lord placed a seal upon Cain, so that anyone who found him would not put him to death. Chapter 4, verse 16. And so Cain, departing from the face of the Lord, lived as a fugitive on the earth, toward the eastern region of Eden. Chapter 4, verse 17. Then Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to Enoch. And he built a city, and he called its name by the name of his son, Enoch. Chapter 4, verse 18. Thereafter Enoch conceived Irad, and Irad conceived Mahujel, and Mahujel conceived Methusel, and Methusel conceived Lamech. Chapter 4, verse 19. Lamech took 2 wives, the name of one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zillah. Chapter 4, verse 20. And Ada conceived Jebel, who was the father of those who live in tents and are shepherds. Chapter 4, verse 21. And the name of his brother was Jubal. He was the father of those who sing to the harp and the organ. Chapter 4, verse 22. Zillah also conceived Tubal-Cain, who was a hammerer and artisan in every work of brass and iron. In fact, the sister of Tubal-Cain was Noamah. Chapter 4, verse 23. And Lamech said to his wives Ada and Zillah, Listen to my voice, you wives of Lamech. Pay attention to my speech, for I have killed a man to my own harm, and an adolescent to my own bruising. Chapter 4, verse 24. Sevenfold vengeance will be given for Cain, but for Lamech 77 times. Chapter 4, verse 25. Adam also knew his wife again, and she gave birth to a son, and she called his name Seth, saying, God has given me another offspring in place of Abel, whom Cain killed. Chapter 4, verse 26. But to Seth also was born a son, whom he called Enos. This one began to invoke the name of the Lord.